Americans spend billions of dollars every year on dietary supplements. In fact, new research from Johns Hopkins Medicine shows more than half of Americans take some form of vitamin or supplement on a regular basis.
But is it worth it? Dr. Pio Coley is sticking around with us for our kitchen table talk. And Dr. Coley, is this something that your patients ask you about a lot? I'm sure they do.
Every single day. And what's funny to me really is that people are willing to take a supplement because it's over the counter, but they won't actually take a medicine. So for example, when I'm treating cholesterol, people say, I'll go to the vitamin store and get red yeast rice. And then they're surprised to learn that that binds exactly the same receptor as a statin medicine for cholesterol. It's just not as well regulated. And so I think there's this sort of perception that supplements are safe and they're well tolerated, they don't cause problems because they're available over the counter, when that is in fact so far from truth.
It is such a mind game. And here's something else that we found. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, researchers have concluded that multivitamins don't reduce the risk for heart disease, cancer, cognitive decline, or early death, and add that pills are not a shortcut to better health. In most cases, they say that the money you're spending could be better spent on nutrient-packed foods like fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. It's interesting.
Yeah, there are some exceptions to this rule. They say people with certain medical conditions, pregnant women, people with restricted diets, and older adults can gain some benefits from certain supplements. The key is to make sure you're taking the right thing, just like Dr. Coley was talking about. We often see multivitamins with well over 100% of your daily value of certain vitamins. Is that really necessary?
So for most average adults, definitely not. Okay. A multivitamin is not something I prescribe. In fact, I de-prescribe it for my patients that are taking it. I say, save the money, spend it on something else. And part of that reason is not just because you have all those extra vitamins and sometimes your body has to detox and get rid of them, but you're talking about fillers and binders and all the other things that go into making a pill. In fact, sometimes if you scan the stomach of someone who's on a multivitamin, you'll just see it on an X-ray sitting in the stomach. Really? So that is not the best way to get a lot of your supplements. There's data coming out for women who take calcium, for example, for osteoporosis, which sometimes a lot of doctors recommend. That calcium taken in pill form can actually go and get stuck in the blood vessels around the heart and other places. So instead, we really push women to enrich their dietary calcium because they're osteoporotic and may need more calcium intake.
That is all so interesting.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
So there are a few supplements that I do recommend my patients take as a cardiologist. The first, vitamin D. So most of us in the US are vitamin D deficient, and that can be because of sunscreen, because of intake, or what have you. A good level of vitamin D should be around 40. So you don't need to take multiple pills of vitamin D, but 1,000 or 2,000 IUs, depending on your baseline level, to get you to 40, really important. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, then I also recommend vitamin B12 as well, because that's another important supplement to take.
Does the season matter for those?
For vitamin D?
Yeah, does it
like
matter?
Less sunlight this time of year, should I be taking more vitamin D?
Probably, but I will say most of us are deficient even in the summer.
Oh.
And again, that's because of the fact that most of our day we spend indoors. When we are outdoors, we do wear sun protection and what have you. So the average American tends to run low on their vitamin D. And you can get it through foods as well, fortified, vitamin D fortified foods as well. So it doesn't have to necessarily be in pill form, but check a level, because many of us don't realize that I have 20, 30-year-olds coming in, their vitamin D level should be 40, it's 12.
Wow.
And when your vitamin D level is low, your body releases a hormone that kind of melts your bones to release more vitamin D. And so you're starting to really cause damage with that.
And real quick, there are tests, right, that you can do to check to see what you need to take.
Very easy, blood tests. And if you're iron deficient, then we might give you iron and what have you. So some supplements are important, but you don't just go popping multivitamins. You don't start taking pre and probiotics. You don't go to the vitamin store and fill up on fish oils, which I hear about as well.
Next question.
Ask you about that one.
Yeah, so we got to get
know.
you off. So it's good for your eyes. So ophthalmologists might tell you to take fish oils, but you're not taking it for heart health, for cardiovascular risk prevention, and it can have side effects, arrhythmias, blood thinning, and even turmeric. I hear this all the time. People want to take turmeric. It can have blood thinning effects and it can cause heartburn and such. So you really want to keep everything in moderation. Food is the best medicine always.
Well, I still have a couple more that I take. I'll have to ask her in the commercial
Off air.
break.